Hey, what's going on guys, coming again here. In this video I'd like to share probably the most useless Linux distro you've ever seen. So today a weird thought came into my head and I was thinking like, is it possible to make a Linux distro that would be loaded directly into the Python interpreter? And before anything else I actually decided to figure out whether someone else did this before, and it turned out that there were tries. Well, at least I found one, and that was quite an interesting project. It eventually was kind of more like for Raspberry Pi, intended for Raspberry Pi to be run on the Raspberry Pi, and that one even had the GUI that was writing directly to dev fp0, and it was quite a fun. It had some apps and games using the Pygame GUI module, and when I had a look at that kind of, let's call it distribution, right? So it was quite complicated, and in order to build that, it's too long, and well, it looks cool. It's definitely very cool. But I was thinking like, is it possible to make something somewhat similar, but without the GUI and kind of easier to understand? With way less features, is utterly useless, like completely useless, but works at the proof of concept. So without further ado, let me just demonstrate what I came up with so far, and then I quickly walk through the process of how did I manage to do this. So maybe this kind of initial boilerplate can be useful for someone to build something more interesting based on the thing that I made. So I have a script run shell, which also updates the root file system that is available here, by the way. So yeah, I'm running this in the QEMU, right? And it just runs in the Linux terminal, so nothing special here. Yeah, it's kind of like it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning, and instead of sleeping, I'm doing this weird thing. But anyways, Linux kernel is just boot, and I'm getting right into the Python interpreter. So the reason why I consider Python 3.6 is just a random choice. I could have used the latest one. Just, I don't know. Just since no fancy features are kind of like being involved here, and not even all the standard Python libraries are working, because this, well, let's say the URL lib. It's already like needs some additional setup to work properly, and yeah, without that setup, it doesn't work. Say curses library, which I love really a lot, but it also doesn't work because the curses is not installed here, and the Python itself is actually statically compiled. So that's another interesting thing. But anyways, yeah, we can say hello world here, but we can't even move the cursor. You see, like, it's quite weird. But we can do it like this. All the basic features of the Python language itself are kind of working, so you can try to write programs here. And obviously, developing something, I'd say I love chess programs. I've developed a lot of those. If I want to develop some chess program here, it's like not really. Won't be doing this in this interactive shell. So the interactive shell is just made for, like, I don't know, like Commodore 64 or Q1, like good old days when you could load a system and get into the either basic interpreter or even better, like Hex Monitor, for instance. Well, here we have the system that boots into the Python interpreter. However, it's kind of sort of a minimalist Linux anyway. So if I say import OS, this works, fortunately. And I say os.system, and here I can execute system commands. Now you might be wondering what system commands are available. Well, those provided by the BusyBox are available. So for instance, I can just switch to the shell, and here I have the ls and have this virtual file system been loaded. So I can cd to, let's say this, you see this Python directory, so Python lives here. We have the bin on lib, so let's list the bin. So here is the Python executable, and in the lib we have this Python 3.6 and lib Python 3.6. These are the modules. Can I scroll? Yeah, here I can. If this was a real I won't. Yeah, if I really boot this, I won't be able to scroll. Probably, yeah, because mouse won't be available then. But anyways, here I can show. So yeah, this is kind of it. So all the files for very basic. So just to make sure that the Python actually, Python interpreter runs, this encode instance essentially just doesn't run without those. And a few more standard libraries like collections, JSON. Actually, yeah, here I try to use my code editor. You actually need to get it well. Or is that actually? So just want to. Yeah, just hold on a sec. Serial Python. Oh no, it's not. There is something called code.py, but it's not my code editor that I wrote in Python a few days ago. It's somewhat a different thing. Yeah, this is cool. So you might be wondering, okay, it doesn't do anything, you can't do anything useful here, you can't connect to the internet, you can't, well, you can actually store files to the virtual file system, but once you reload, it just doesn't work, it just gets erased. So it doesn't see the hard drive or yeah, like USB flash or whatever. But still, what is possible here? So there is a nice text editor called Kilo, which I've included here into this repository. And actually here within this Kilo, we can write some actual Python programs. So I don't know. Yeah. Epic Python program, and if it supports kind of nice editing features like what you would expect from the text editor from the console ones. So I don't know. I don't know what to write for e in index, for I in range. Let's say 100s. Print. Just to provide some code. I don't know, something stupid here really, but anyways. But whatever Python code for standard Python, like without involving much libraries, it should be working. So it's quite interesting. And I just save this and let's call this test py. And I'm really wondering where would this actually write this. I written this to oh man, why did I do this? I written this to the wrong place. But anyways, no, let's actually copy this now. Yeah, I'm giving myself extra job. So let's copy test.py to the root, basically test.py. Yeah, why not? And here, do we have our test? Yeah, this is our test.py here. So for instance, I say kilo test.py, and it's here. All right. So now I can say like I can't say Python 3.6 because I didn't. I was so lazy that I didn't even make a symlink for it. So instead, I need to use the full path. Well, actually, if I export, actually have a look. Export path. Let's try export path. Can I do plus equals like this? Plus equals. I'm probably doing some horrible thing now which won't work. But anyways, Python bin. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it just, sorry for this. Yeah, let's export normally. So path equals, I'm not even sure this works, but never done this before, to be honest. Has been, I'm not sure if the colon is the separator, but I think so. Python bin, and what we got. So if I now try to say Python 3.6, yeah, cool. Now it's system-wide. We will forget this the next day, but yeah, I could have included this this export. Yeah, I was lazy and do this. Okay, so here I can drop back, and I can say Python 3.6 test.py, and I can execute. Yeah, I can execute the code like this. And if I exit from the shell, I go back to the Python interpreter where I initially kind of was. But if I press Control D here, it actually exits because this is the root application. And for Linux, like if you're closing the root application, then that's the system is restarting. Well, at least here in QEMU. So, what else? Yeah, now let's actually quickly walk through what I did. So yeah, going back to my original system. So here you have these two files. So bz-image is the Linux kernel that I've compiled. I've been making tutorials on that. The root cpio.gz is the root file system. And the root folder, so if I say cd root, is actual folder that is later like turned into this root cpio.gz. So you may try to alter it to add something to this, and then if you run the run shell, then if everything goes fine, then it potentially maybe adds something you've potentially might be added to the newly created root cpio.gz, and like trying to add some new programs, for instance. Like the latest thing I did, I added the kilo text editor to the bin folder, for instance. So this is the basic this is the basic file system which we've just seen. So how did I make this? It was quite simple. Yeah, so there is a nice repository called mkroot by I remember that the last name of the guy is Landley. I forgot the first name, shame on me. But so if I go to this mkroot, then here here is the mkroot shell, which creates this actual file system, and then all I need to do is to compile Python manually and add this, and you see the Python folder upwards, so this Python folder here. So all this stuff and this stuff is actually gets created by this mkroot shell. I've been demonstrating this in one of the tutorials before. And then an interesting question is how to build and run Python. So how to build and run Python, let me try to demonstrate. So yeah, so here I've downloaded the Python 3.6.0, so let's go there, Python 3.6.0, and here say configure help. So three major steps being considered. The first thing I did for LD flags, I gave the value minus static, and that's because I don't have glibc in this Linux distribution. So the entire Python interpreter is compiled statically. Oh, so sorry, linked statically, compiling linked statically. So it's not relying on any shared libraries. It's kind of everything within the executable itself. which I personally like a lot. Yeah, just like for those who like using the global variables, it's not something very similar. And I love the global variables, as you might already guess. So the next thing is to specify the prefix, and specifying the prefix actually allows to later install this not to your actual system but somewhere to the third-party location. So here I did like configure ld flags equals minus minus static, and then minus minus prefix equals to, and the path, and I considered home, my folder cmk, desktop, and Python. And if I hit enter, it just starts a whole lot of configuration, which we don't need. But once it's done, they did make, and after it, it's sudo make install. And after this, if I go to the desktop here, yeah, Python. So here is the Python directory with sort of installation that was resulted by the installation. And here, two essential folders we're caring about are the bin and the lib. So in the bin we have this Python 3.6 binary executable, which I used, and then I manually copied this to the root file system that I've been showing earlier. And for lib, it's also this Python 3.6 and Python 3.6. So from here I copied all this py files, and from the packages I just copied this encodings. This is essential because the Python interpreter won't start without these encodings, and maybe a couple more like the JSON library and the collections probably, and that's pretty much all about it. So nothing much. So just the bare minimum setup, just to make the interpreter actually running. And yeah, and then just well, interestingly, that if I just like pasted like copied and pasted files like all together, if for some reason malformed the root file system and it didn't work. So I was mostly was kind of copying like by a single file. Well, actually all this py files were copied in one run, but I created folders manually, because if I just copy the entire, if say copy the entire Python Python library, oh my god, it's too late, I need to get some sleep. If I copy this entire Python directory to the root file system in the distribution, it just instead of booting it told me like something wrong with the virtual file system, and it crashed. I'm not sure exactly why that was happening, but anyways, so this is pretty much all about it. So let's go back finally to and whoa. Oh, tutorials and PyLinux. And let's run this again. Run shell. So yeah, you saw it was like the number of blocks, because it just like every time it creates the new file system. So in case if you add something or remove something from the existing one. Well, actually, just to give an idea how this can be improved, yeah, let me just escape from here. So maybe someone would like to tinker with this. So here, if I say cd into the root, and what we have in it. Yes, so let's have a look at the init. So for instance, what I can do here, I can add the Python path. So this would be Python bin. All right, and yeah, if I only knew how to make symlinks and command lines, I would have made the one for Python. But anyways, yeah, let's just, or actually, hold on a sec. I'm wondering if I can just brutally rename that. And that should be already less. Let's try this Python cd bin. Just brutally say Python, copy Python 3.6 and just call it Python like this. Okay. It's a bit of a duplication. Well, I can actually remove now Python 3.6. Yeah, I really hope that this actually should be working after. Yes, and yeah, and now trying to run this. So whatever changes I made now should automatically be updated. Okay, and I hope to be able to type Python from the shell and actually run the Python interpreter after. Let's see how that goes. Not quite sure, but who knows, maybe. Oh, whoa. I did something horribly wrong, so did I put the semicolon? Okay. Yeah, that's why I don't like to touch this. Okay. So what did I? Yeah, it's very strange. I have no idea, like, why. I have no idea. Well, anyways, let me just get rid of this for now. At least it works, but yeah. Yeah, it needs time and effort to figure out what's wrong, and I'm just I want to sleep so much that I don't want to figure that out. If it doesn't boot now, I'll be really disappointed. Have you seen disappointed CodeMonkey? Yeah, here he is. Oh man, what did I do wrong? I just wanted to finish this video already. Oh crap. No such file or directory. No what file or directory? Oh, bin, Python. Okay, oh, what a noob I am. Okay. Yes, this wasn't the point here. Here I can say make this Python bin, and the problem is that it actually tries to run. Yeah, now this will work. It was run Python 3.6. Well, this executable no longer exists. So yeah, that's just because I'm too sleepy. Yeah, I really hope. Oh please run. Oh please run. Oh. Yeah, CodeMonkey is a master of doing useless things, completely pointless things. Yeah, that's CodeMonkey. Alright, here we go. So let's try import OS and OS system shell and Python, and here we go. Yeah, okay, so just get away from here and exit from here and get away from here. Yeah, that's it from my side, guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time, and take care.